afternoon and thank you for keeping it TV47. You're just in time for News Now at 4 with I, Sheila Chelangat. But first, let's take a look at what is making headlines at this hour. The highlights. The Ministry of Health has confirmed a critical BCG vaccine shortage, but assures 2.34 million doses will be procured by month's end. The High Court has delayed the plea hearing for 12 police officers accused for the 2017 killing of baby Samantha Pendo. The new date for the hearing is set for January 29th. And traders at Ruai Market are defying the Nairobi County government, refusing to pay revenue after the suspension of the Ruai Open Air Market project. Thank you for joining, and the 15 minutes of this broadcast begins now. We begin with matters health, where the government through the Ministry of Health has today confirmed that indeed the country is dealing with a serious shortage of the BCG vaccine. However, the government states that plans are underway to procure 2.34 million doses by the end of January. Furthermore, the Ministry of Health and the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority (KEMSA) has refuted claims of a total lack of ARVs, saying the drugs are available.
I am glad to report that in the month of December we received more than 1 million doses of rotavirus vaccine for children to prevent diarrhea. We have also received in the same month more than 600,000 doses of the human papillomavirus vaccine, which is supposed to prevent against cervical cancer, which is a burden in our country. And we have also received nearly 240,000 doses of malaria vaccine. You know, the burden of malaria in sub-Saharan Africa still remains a big problem. Malaria is a big contributor of poverty, especially in the Lake region and the coastal region, because one, people take a lot of time to be able to care for loved ones when they're in hospital, and therefore they're not being productive. And of course, when you are sick, then you cannot be able to continue with the normal productivity. We are alive to the fact that we have faced a challenge with the BCG vaccine, which is the first vaccine administered together with polio at birth. And we have placed an order, and we are going to get 2.34 million doses of BCG vaccine by the end of this month. What we have done in the meantime is to be able to redistribute from the low utilization facilities to the high volume facilities to be able to bridge that gap in the meantime. However, we have also instructed the subnational level or the county level to be able to ensure that they record those who have missed the vaccine, such that when these vaccines then become available at the end of the month, then we can be able to do the catch-up vaccination.
And away from that, the High Court has postponed the plea taking for 12 police officers accused of killing baby Samantha Pendo 7 years ago to January 29th. The case, originally scheduled for today morning, was delayed due to the transfer of Justice Lillian Mutende, who had been handling it. Baby Pendo was killed at her family home during a police raid in the Nyalenda slums during the 2017 post-elections violence. An inquest into the incident began in 2019, and the senior police officers and others are at the risk of being charged for her death. The accused officers will take plea after their earlier attempts to challenge the jurisdiction of the Kenyan court to try them for the crimes against humanity borrowed from the International Criminal Court failed. And employees working at the pyrethrum company in Nakuru have called on the EACC to investigate the current Chief Executive Officer, Mary Ontiri, for what they termed as poor management of the company as well as misuse of office, as Chichi Josephine now tells us.
Protesting outside the pyrethrum processing company in Nakuru, the angry employees led by the Nakuru branch chairman of the Kenya Chemical Workers Union, George Onyango, called on EACC to investigate the company CEO Marion Terry, accusing her of mismanaging the company.
Shida iko kwa hii boma ni uongozi. Huyu mama ameangusha pyrethrum. From February last year to date, hawajalipa wakulima final payments miaka moja. Wakulima wa pyrethrum hawajalipwa. Wafanyakazi hawajalipa mwezi miwili. November 2024 na December 2024 tulipata mshahara. Wafanyakazi wako na watoto kwa nyumba. Wafanyakazi hawana chakula.
Na tuko na shida ya mshahara, tuko na shida ya farmers, tuko na shida ya suppliers. Sababu shida zote hizi ni mismanagement.
The employees lamented having gone without a pay since November last year, further noting that the company failed to remit SACCO funds and SSF insurance funds, among others, even after deducting the statutory fees from their salary.
Sasa tunaongea Mary ametukata statutory deductions. For the last 9 months, pesa ya SACCO hajaremit, wafanyakazi hawezi pata school fees, pesa ya NSSF apeleki, pesa ya how do you call it? ICA Lion pension scheme, the new pension scheme apeleki, retirees wanaenda huko wapati pesa zao.
They are now calling on the Principal Secretary for Agriculture to intervene into the matter and have a meeting with the board to iron out the issue.
Tunataka board ingie hapa kesho and we want to see a new CEO.
Tunaomba our minister, PS na president atusikie, alete sisi wenye CEO mwenye ako committed na anachua kufanya kazi.
At the same time, they faulted the report of the Auditor General and demanded for an independent body to audit the company.
EACC Nakuru, hata ifungwe, they are doing nothing because we have reported there. They said they are coming, they are not coming. EACC chunguze from 200 million that were left, na chunguze grants zote Mary amepokea.
Chichi, Josephine, TV47.
Thank you, Chichi. Moving on, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka and a host of opposition politicians are calling for the resignation of the president over the recent spate of abductions and unfulfilled government promises on the same. Wiper also accuses the government of ineptitude and corruption. Let's have a listen to what they said from a presser earlier on.
Used to be a reformist. Campaigned for him seriously in Dadaab against that time an ODM candidate, and we won for Wiper. Therefore, it doesn't give me any pleasure. Even if, because there's that thing they always follow in the Constitution, unless somebody resigns in writing to Mr. Speaker, right? He will still sit there, like those renegade Jubilee MPs who are expelled. We know this. But beyond that, if you talk about the 13th Parliament, I repeat my earlier comments that that Parliament was impeached by the people of Kenya, led by the Gen Zs, on the 25th of June last year. So they lack moral authority to do anything. If the Wiper MPs were not in the majority, but a very strong, solid team, we even stood against impeachment because they said, they heard what Kenyans were said, kufa driver, kufa makanga. Even if they bring that motion to oppose impeachment, but have we not heard Mr. Muturi tell them, bring it on, impeach him. But before you impeach him, please note you have been impeached by the people. That is the situation as it is. It's only that you cannot get arrest all of them like the Koreans did. And please note the reason the President of South Korea was arrested in State House was because he acted in contravention of the Constitution by declaring illegally martial law in South Sudan.
And traders at Rai Market are defying the Nairobi County government, refusing to pay revenue after the suspension of the Rai Open Air Market construction project. This follows a 1-month notice from Kenha giving traders until February 12 to vacate for roadwork completion and handover. The traders blamed the county government for collecting revenue without delivering proper services to the people. The traders gave the county government 10 days to complete and hand over the project or risk further demonstrations. Furthermore, supported by the area MCA James Karoki, the traders agreed to boycott county revenue payments until they get proper services.
Na hii Ruai yetu tumeumia sana kwa sababu pesa inachukuliwa na watu wa Kanjo wanaweka kwa mifuko ya haiendi hata ifiki City Hall. Sasa mahali imefika ni kukimbizana mkiona mtu hapa ametolewa mbio ameenda bila nguo, mjue ni vile yeye anachukua pesa anaweka kwa mfu, alafu unakuja unaambia watu ati Nizakaja amekutuma uchukue pesa. Uchukue pesa haina risiti. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Mahali imefika sasa Ruai hatutaki kubembelezana. Vile kazi inafanywa town ifanywe hapa Ruai. Ama namna gani? Na kama mtu hataki kuifanya tunafunga hii barabara. Tumeelewana? Leo ilikuwa ifungwe nikaomba komiti wasifunge. Tupeane ultimatum hizo ambazo wamesema mimi naziunga mkono. Ikasema itamaliza kuunda Juzi nikiwa kwa komiti ya masoko. Waziri wa soko akasema ati soko imeisha, anadanganyana nikiwa hapo. Hiyo ni mambo mbaya sana ya kuongea huo. Mpaka chairman wa komiti akamwambia aombe msamaha juu ya kudanganyana. Mimi niko Ruai, yeye yako town. Nani anajua soko imefika wapi? Anasema mpaka imewekwa mataa. So hakuna mtu anatoa nini? Pesa. Wewe kama ni muoga wewe ondoka. Sisi tuko hapa. Sasa hii atubembeleza? Ama namna gani? Ukimwaga ugali tunamwaga nini? Umenishika? Mimi mtu akishikwa mimi niulizwe swali. Hiyo tunapambana nayo mpaka mwisho. Umenipata? Hatutakubali upuzi sasa. Zakaja ni yapoa na sisi, lakini wale amepatia kazi wanatudanga na wanatuestia time yetu.
And to matters education, university students across the country are decrying the delay of government funds, that is HELB, saying that most students are unable to go back to school and those in schools are unable to sustain themselves. At a press conference held at the Moi University, the students led by Rocha Madzayo have issued an ultimatum to the government to disburse the funds by 17th of January. Failure to that, they will hold peaceful demonstrations to all education officers to demand for the funds. In addition, the delay of the funds has disrupted all learning activities as most of the students have not paid their school fees or registered for their courses.
For the past 2 weeks, HELB has delayed, and this has paralyzed the activities of the general comrade activities. Half of our student population are still stuck in their villages, burning charcoal, selling chicken, just to raise funds for their fare to come to school. The others who've come to Nairobi don't have rent and have received letters of notice to evacuate their premises from their tenants, from their landlords. So it is high time that they release the HELB. And by Friday, if there will be no HELB disbursed to these students, we shall occupy those offices and every person in that room shall give help to all these students who want to study in this country and in this school and this university. Comrades, power! Comrades, viva! Comrades, ria! I want to make a rallying cry, a rallying call to every vice chancellor in this school that no comrade should be left out to do their exams. Let all students do their exams. If you want to owe people school fees, or the Ministry of Education who have not yet disbursed the funds to our institutions.
And third-placed Arsenal will tonight lock horns with arch rivals Tottenham. All right, that concludes News Now at 4. I am Sheila Chelangat. Do have yourselves a lovely afternoon.